I think we should start this episode like, let's have a challenge who can hold their cigar the awkwardest the whole episode. I'm fucking over here like,
What about a double?
play us a tune.
The jazz. Ron Burgundy's
Doing a little
jazz
dance with it.
flute.
Blake is going to play the Yaz cigar.
Ron Burgundy's jazz flute.
Well, welcome to this week's edition of the Authentic Identity Podcast with your co-hosts, Blake, Norton.
Hi. That's me.
And we have Mitchell Rose over here, mouthful of Mitch, and yours truly, Jared Everett.
I thought you were going to say me.
Me.
And yours truly, me.
This guy right here.
Oh, I'm trying out a new hairstyle. What do you guys think about it?
I like it, dog.
You look like Chaz Michaels.
I think it's hip, dog.
Blades
Solid,
of Glory.
Solid, dude.
You've never reminded me
Blades
more.
of Glory. Okay.
You've never reminded me more of Zach Galifianakis with the hair.
Zach Galifianakis,
looking all
yeah,
awkward like that.
He does. I can see that. I can see that.
You know that meme that's going around, and Bradley Cooper's character is like freaking out. He's like, "Fucking damn it!" And he's like following him around. He's like, "Shoot!"
Oh yeah, darn it.
Darn it!
Yeah, that's on a Hangover.
Yeah.
He's like all pissed. Darn it.
Rats.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I'm excited for this one because we're gonna find out my what. Weren't we gonna do that?
Yeah, we're gonna do your.
I don't know how long this takes or when we should implement that.
Yeah, we
but
could dive into that. Yeah,
should we dive
Take
in?
a deep dive.
but real quick. What are you guys smoking today? The Oliva. What did I give you?
Oliva.
Siri.
Cereal.
The Series O.
Sirio Olivia.
Cereal.
Dog.
Smoking some cereal.
Last time, to be
Yeah, we don't really.
clear, was this the same one I smoked last week?
Yeah.
And are these bigger than
scared
the
right
normal
now 'cause
normal ones you give us?
They're a little bit thicker gauge. Yeah, so
Gotcha.
they're bigger, and then I think they're more fresh.
Yeah, they taste more
Plucked
fresh.
straight from the tobacco cigar tree.
Oh, nice. Just
They
dude,
grow
little
like that.
kerplunk off there.
Serious. Last week, I stood up and I was like, oh my gosh, dude, I can't fucking walk. So sat here for about 40 minutes.
Oh, really?
Like just chatted. I've never been so spun in my life. I'm like,
It was a head high.
never have I ever from a cigar felt like that.
Were you
Just 'cause
inhaling?
That's how you know they're fresh, man.
No, I didn't think so anyways. I maybe coughed once.
Yeah. I
Maybe
try
got
to
a little
inhale
bit.
a little bit sometimes just because you can get the little head
'Cause
high
you're
with
a
it.
fucking daredevil.
I
Yeah.
found out a method.
I'm a rebel dog.
There's a guy named Cigars Daily on YouTube. He's a fucking G. I watch all of his content. And he runs his own like smoke shop or cigar online store nationwide. Awesome hustler guy. But anyway, he teaches people techniques on YouTube Shorts, and you can try this one out. It's a retrohale where you breathe in. A retrohale is when you breathe in, you puff on the cigar, but then you blow the smoke out your nose. I've been trying to do it forever, and it just feels awkward to me. But he's like, here's a new technique. He's like, you just puff on it, blow a little bit out, and then just chew it, and it will naturally enter your nose cavity, and you'll be able to taste more. Yeah,
Interesting.
so it goes like this. Breathe
Gives
in.
you a little.
Demonstrate. Oh, there it is.
See, did it come out?
It did.
Yeah. See, it works.
First two. It works.
Nice.
Cigars
I think I
Daily.
could do it without the chewing. Watch.
Yeah, try it. Oh, yeah.
Oh shit, he's gonna burn it. You did it the wrong way, brother. Not with a cigar.
I did it. I did it
No,
inhale or
it's
anything.
recommended with a cigar.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, I didn't inhale it. I just allowed it to transfer.
you open up the valve. back
Yeah,
deep.
dog. I
Let her
opened up
fucking
the
play.
valve, dog.
I'm good on trying that one, dude.
Yeah.
I might fucking
Yeah, that's-
pop my head off.
But it does open up a lot of flavors within the cigar. So I recommend doing it at least once a smoke. If you just chew it, because that's way more pleasant for me. Yeah.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah, if you kind of close your mouth too, and just, it'll just kind of.
I get that.
But
Got
some
a little
people
something
think
different there.
because you got the third, right? You have the first third, second, and the last third, and they put different filler leaves in there, and it's long filler leaves, like it's not crumbled up, unless you get a shitty, like a Cuban ends cigar. I think is what they're called. They're like the like throwaways as they make cigars. They put those into a cheap cigar. It's still Cuban tobacco, but it's like
The shit.
not consistent. Yeah, so they sell it for like $2. But yeah, you get a different flavor profile every third of the cigar. And so if you do like a little bit of a retrohale or like the retrohale chew method, I don't know what to call that. If you're chomping on some smoke, it should give you a different flavor. But
No, that was good.
also,
So, like 3 times during it.
yeah,
Nice.
yeah. But also, now you guys have smoked some of these a little bit. Like, what's your signature like what feels natural for you to hold your cigar?
I like holding it like this.
Yeah.
I see you holding it. What do you like this? You're like,
Yeah, I kind of, depending on what I'm doing, I hold it like this. This is
Yeah.
kind of like my more natural.
I think you look cool. Like,
Look at Mitch's,
sure.
though. I think Mitch is the most.
He's got a fistful.
Looks like you're driving. What the
Cop
fuck?
rolls up next to you, you know?
Yeah, yeah. They're like, hey, is
Right
that
back on the steering wheel. What was that? What was the officer problem?
I'm totally Tober.
Who am I?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You.
No, I'm going to say my signature is just right here.
That's right there, yeah. It's classy. But that works too. I mean, the motorcycle grip. Yeah, I thought you was eating a Slim Jim.
You just rev it up, dog.
Yeah, you just, you know what I mean?
What's the
that's a
most
little
awkward
dangerous.
way you can hold your cigar?
You like this?
Oh, that's a good one.
Like this?
Watch your fingers,
That's
bro.
good, yeah, you
I know
got
it's right
burned.
there, dog. I can feel it.
I'm feeling like some Cruella DeVille, like right there.
I ain't got no
Something like
creative
this.
use right now. Maybe. How about the under?
Do it like
the
this,
underhook.
dog.
This
The
is pretty
under?
fucking weird, dude.
The under a cigar. What? I'm just gonna hold it there like this.
You give your head the reach around like this, dude.
Careful
That
now.
works. I'm getting a little
Yeah.
dangerous over here.
These are
I
all
know, dude,
excellent.
you're risky.
I'm a risk taker, dog.
These are these are all excellent techniques at the cigar bar that'll get you connected with the right
Submit
people.
yours.
Yes.
Favorite cigar holding technique. It's super cool.
Anybody that knows about cigars that was interested in this are now like, what the fuck are
Yeah,
these?
what the fuck just happened? This guy just held his fucking cigar like a dick.
We
You
just
Taking a
ruined all of
piss.
our cigar.
It's the piss
credentials.
holdings. The piss holding form right here.
Yeah, that's the relief hold.
Relief. Here it comes.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Oh, man.
But yeah, we like to goof. That's what we do.
Straight goofing.
But also,
New boot goofing.
I got to chide Jared, but you don't have to snuff out your ash all the time because it's a long filler, right? On the Cuban round, that's what it is, Cuban rounds. On a Cuban round, though, when they're just packing whatever,
yeah.
it's like short stuff. That's where you might have to tap it a lot more, like a cigarette. But like you want to get about a half inch of ash on there.
Let it build up.
Yeah, let it build up, and then you'll see cracks starting to form in it.
Oh,
and
yeah,
stuff.
that's right,
And then you
that's
just
right.
kind of roll it off, and it's good to go.
So is that kind of why you kind of hold it up a little bit?
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
I kind of hold it down and then it gets all over my clothes and on the chair.
yeah.
So that's why I've been ashing it probably irregularly. But
Yeah,
yeah,
we
let
lost
me-
a good cleaning lady because of you. I'm just kidding.
Sorry, dog.
No, it's a thing. So yeah, that's why you're delicate with it. And then also, if you snuff out a cigar, it can kind of make an unpleasant aroma, especially in a confined space or a cigar bar. if
Yeah,
you're
Jared,
there.
why would you do
Cigar
that?
bar. Dude, like I told you, I'm
I
risky.
wasn't doing it.
I'm risky, dog. Okay.
Look at me. I wasn't doing it. So
Living life on the
what are you
edge.
even doing?
Are you even a risk taker, dog?
The disrespect in Blake's garage here.
Yeah, it's all good.
We are sponsored by Husky, by the way, if you haven't noticed. Every tool bench or lawnmower, ratchet, it's all made by Husky. So
Yep.
thank you for the sponsor, by the way.
And when I go shopping for jeans, I am a husky size. I'm a husky. I always got husky.
Nice,
The
dog.
big and tall.
Short and stout.
Yeah. I'm built like a fucking barrel.
Hey, you should see the way Blake can roll down a hill, dog.
Yeah,
If he
goes
was
right
an
on down.
object, he would be a wooden smoked barrel.
exactly.
If Blake was an object,
Yeah, that held whiskey.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
that would be Blake.
And then if we all fell in a river at the same time, I would have so much advantage.
You would bob.
Dude, you'd be saving our lives, dog.
Yeah.
but
you
you'd hold
holding
mine
on?
like spinning me. That was basically.
I'd be standing on it, dude. Just
Dude, yeah, that's awesome. Well, how was the week, Jared? You traveled? Where were you? Somewhere exotic?
yeah, dude. Colorado. It was super exotic.
That's exotic.
Yeah. But yeah, I've been basically on the road for a full month. So mostly in northern Utah, but down in California a bit, over on the Front Range in Colorado. Bud.
Front Range. I forgot they call it that.
Yeah, the Front
What
Range.
do they call that? Like Grand Junction area?
No,
Is
so
that
Grand Junction
Denver
is
side?
on the west side of the Rockies, whereas the Front Range is like basically Denver.
Oh,
It's
okay.
on the Front Range. So basically you look west from Denver and you see the Rocky Mountains, and you look east and you see the Great Plains, and it's fucking flat for a good little while.
Wow.
So all those towns, like basically, you know, Colorado Springs up through like Fort Collins, that's all like considered the Front Range right there. So we were in like Fort Collins, Loveland, went down to Denver, saw.
You're already that far in. Like JKR Windows.
Say
You guys are already that far into the state.
Yeah,
Selling winders.
Winders, dog.
How'd it
Winders.
go? Good?
It went pretty good. We could have done better. At the same time, it was a good pressure check to see exactly where the team was and what we needed to work on, because it's one thing to hit a bunch of small towns with people who are like, hey, I'll buy windows. And, you know, to kind of have a little bit higher echelon customer and be like, okay, well, we're not just going to get a bunch of laydowns. Y'all actually need to perfect your craft and work on that. And
Right.
because it's one thing, again, for people in a small town, they don't have a lot of options. It's easy.
Yeah, and then you're leaving, and that's always a pressure. Like, well, I'm like, sorry, I'm out of here tomorrow, so you got to make a decision, you know. And
Yeah.
it kind of works in your favor because you really are traveling. The deal does go with you, and so
Yeah.
yeah, there's a different dynamic, man. It's like I think them city folk, they just expect more a little bit too because they have options. I think that's what it is. It's options.
Yeah,
right?
there's a lot of options, a lot of opportunities, and there's you know, a lot of people out there. They have a lot of money and they're, you know, have a lot of wherewithal with things. So you just have to be better.
How does one get wherewithal?
Well, you get withal and then you get it somewhere. Where though?
Where is that?
Where is the withal?
Do you know where you get withal?
Where? I don't know.
Wherewithal. That
I
kind
don't
of
even know
sounds.
what that means, if I'm being
It
honest.
sounds
with
like a
you guys.
household kitchen cleaner.
I know
What is,
wherewithal.
what is wherewithal? What
So
is this?
wherewithal is like a general understanding. Like, you know, I have some wherewithal when it comes to maybe, or you have wherewithal when it comes to like videography and
It's kind of like common sense, I guess.
Like what I don't have? No, that's actually dictionary shit right there. Dude, I feel like every time we've done a podcast, I've asked like, what the fuck was that word? I've learned like a new word.
Yeah.
Dude, I
Mitch
don't
is over
know.
here learning.
My
words.
vocabulary is very small.
limited.
Minute.
Minute. Yo.
Minute.
I mean, I'll be honest. I use words that I don't even know still,
Congrats, dude. That's good.
like wherewithal.
Arborall.
Shit. Chat GPT gives me a bunch of crazy words, and then I use them for like some of the script psychology breakdowns, and it's like throwing all these big words. I'm on like the teleprompter, and I'm like reciprocity.
That is fucking awesome.
Your salesman just like,
What? But yeah, so it was then we went to we had a lot of momentum towards the end of the trip. You've been there, you've seen what it's like to adapt, and then everybody starts getting deals towards the end. So
Sure.
we were able to do some good things towards the end. And then went to a Denver Bronco New York Jets game. And that was pretty fun. I don't like either team, but it was pretty fun.
That is
yeah,
cool.
just being in the bread and circuses.
Jets won, right?
Jets won, yeah.
Yeah.
And we were on the second row in
That's sick,
the
dude.
end zone.
How much are tickets to go to?
The ones that we
ball
we
game.
bought were like $5.50 a piece, but that's literally like they're 20 feet away from you scoring
Really?
touchdowns.
Wow,
You know,
that's cool. We're sitting in here. We're about to start. Ryan and Blake and the fucking missionaries walk in, and they're like totally still we're smoking cigars, and they're still putting the Christ.
Yeah.
Oh, your smoke's like right in the cig, dog.
oh, sorry, bro. You look cool.
I'm Smokey the Bandit.
Yeah.
But no, they come in just selling Jesus on us hard, and Blake was just like, I don't know, dude. That shit makes me uncomfortable, dude. Door-to-door knockers are fucking weirdos.
Super weird.
No, but
Depends on what you
No,
say.
for real though. I mean, it's kind of weird. Go
like
sell
the
religion.
yeah, dude. I don't know. It just doesn't sit right with me. It makes me like I was getting like secondhand embarrassment. You know, I don't know. I feel weird. You know what I mean? When they're coming in here and just the way she was talking, I was like, I feel uncomfortable.
I got cornered.
So weird, huh?
I got cornered in a parking lot. I was walking into a gas station when I was in Colorado. These two chicks pulled up on me like, skirt. It's like, hey, do you got a second? I was like, yeah. Then they started getting at me about spreading the word and
Salvation
and stuff.
Was it for Mormons?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, they're
shit.
2 LDS missionaries. And I was like, well, I'm not even from here. So they're like, where are you from? I was like, Utah. So I know all about what you got going on. Appreciate your time. I gotta scoot. So I scooted on out of there.
Nice.
I have a home ward.
Did you ever see Gumby when he would be like,
Oh yeah.
when he'd scoot, dude?
I forgot about that.
I was like, what made it so weird, I feel like, is like, it's like we're about to get started filming and they just kept like staying there. They overstayed their welcome.
Well,
I mean, we
door-to-door
invited them
salesmen do
in,
it.
but yeah.
They do the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, so you sure you don't want to buy windows?
Yeah, we're sure.
You sure you don't need any pest control? I saw some bugs around here.
You just wait for an actual no,
we helped
right?
out Tom and Kathy down the street around the corner.
Yeah.
Yeah, we helped them out. We just want to get everybody on the discount we have going
A
on.
good salesman will keep the conversation going and make it still relevant, right? That he's solving a problem for you. And so like you almost can't leave. You're like, oh dude, this guy's about to solve something. Like this guy, like it's like when you're watching Sherlock Holmes and he's like, quarter punch, move to the left, elbow to the kidney. You're like, what's happening? You're like,
Front
whoa.
kick to the diaphragm.
Yeah,
of the
front
solar
kick.
plex.
Get you enticed.
Yeah, a little bit of cocaine in the nostril.
I call it assuming relevant pain points. It's one thing to assume pain points, but relevant ones that like they're like, okay, well, yeah. Now you're solving problems. You're generating some curiosity. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And it's an interesting dichotomy, or like it's an interesting thing with missionaries of any religion, because if you get a person who's put together and has confidence in their abilities and their life together, like whether they're religious or not, like another mission, like someone selling religion is like, it's not going to help them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unless they're like broken, down on their luck, broke as shit, like, divorce.
It's interesting
or whatever.
too, like, again, going back to like the confidence level of those two girls who came in, like, I don't feel like their confidence was super there, but it's interesting too that like that's the whole Mormon mission is like at 18, right? They send them out.
Yeah.
I think girls go at 19 or 21.
But it's only for like a year.
They go 19, I think.
19 for a year and a half.
18.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I think they made everybody a year and a half.
Either way, you can imagine what the conversation might go like if somebody was like 35 doing it, and how they would respond. It's almost like, since they're young, maybe that's why they have a good success rate. I don't know if they do have a good success rate, but
And
not like they feel
teaches
bad for them. But
like door to door, just in general, teaches you a lot. Mm-hmm. And this is just my theory, but I think I talked to Blake about it on a previous podcast. But you get all of your young people, you teach them how to do one of the hardest things in door knocking, which you learn so much about social interactions, about sales, about hitting numbers, about your mindset, activity levels, all these things. And then you do them in different countries. So
language.
now you have like basically your young generation is all equipped to do some of the hardest sort of sales in all sorts of different languages. So now you can get into international business and you can do all these things. And there's these skill sets you develop right out of high school that sets you up for the rest of your life.
dude, yeah.
That's why the LDS
every
culture-
door-to-door guy, I feel like, every return missionary, I feel like has a from what I've seen, has a pretty good like success rate,
They're
or like
killing
or a drive or something within sales. Like it's a pretty good.
Yeah, a lot of them are pretty good.
Yeah, it's like they thrive in that. It's a very industrious culture, right? To be productive and to be business minded, or just like progression. So, but I think it stifles though as you get older, because you check off the boxes and then it turns into a coasting thing. If at least from what I've seen, it's like, oh, I just gotta hang on and live a good rest of my life, and then I'm rewarded at the end. So a lot of like go-getter action up front, and then it's like a lot of just mellow coasting. But that's totally generally speaking. So people are going to be pissed about that. In fact, a lot of clips that we mention Mormonism or LDS culture, like they're getting comments on there, and people are like, "Someone said the M word," like Mormon. I'm like, shut the fuck up! Like, just say whatever I want. Yeah, and like on YouTube, like somebody was like, "What did they say?" Mal was like, "I think he's like Mormon. I think you mean LDS," and I can't remember what I phrased it, but I said their username back, and I was like, Johnny, I think you mean Jimmy. Like, you fucking idiot. Like,
Johnny, I think you mean John.
Don't you mean your name is Tony?
Jonathan.
Either way, you got to just logging out the haters, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
What they gonna hate?
It was like the only time I've ever looked at comments in like the last 4 months, and it was all about like Mormons. I'm like, oh, this clip is about Mormons.
We do. I feel like that's a common. I mean, obviously, it's just what comes up. We just talk about it. But
Yeah.
Well, I think you're uniquely qualified to talk about the topic, subject, whatever.
yeah, and who the fuck tells me what I can and can't talk about? First
Exactly.
off,
Whose podcast is this?
Yeah.
In the first place.
but
Who am I?
no, really though.
Who are you? Who are you?
Dude.
Who, me?
Everybody's always going to have opinion about something, so that's why it's so important to just stick to your guns, like we talked about last time, and just fucking speak, man. Just be you, dude. Just talk what you want to talk about. Don't give a fuck.
It wasn't even, and I don't bring that up to be like, oh, we have haters. I'm like, bring on the haters, man. Like, we won't look at your stuff. Thanks for the algorithm boosts, by the way.
Yeah, I know. That's what's actually funny, and it's a strategy that I've seen with content creators. They'll purposely like put an error in there or something. Did you ever see that Daniel Schiffer thing?
Yeah.
Daniel Schiffer said something like, I intentionally put something in order to get right, some controversy, some comments riled up. Like,
we're gonna get people riled up about
and
the
anybody in general who is on social media that like stakes their opinion about something or identity within something, like especially obviously politics, but like any other subject about homeschooling or about whatever nutrition. It is that's going on. Yeah, nutrition. Everybody's gonna either hate it or love it, but it's an interesting thing when you think about trying to get people to like follow you and consume you, and how do they perceive you. You're going to start to create a divide. Like if you're a generalist and you just talk in general, you're not really going to pull to one, right? Like one side. Whereas if you stake your opinion on something, people either appreciate it, love it, respect it, buy into that, or the opposite. So when you like have the term, and when you have the term haters, like that's, I mean, it's just the opposing side, obviously, but like you're going to have that. And that's how you get like a cult like following, is you stake something that you're very opinionated about. And then people also agree with that opinion. And then you start to be like, they love that guy. I love that guy. I love his opinion. I love what he talks about. But then you have the opposite, right? Which it's kind of like, which is fine. If you have, I mean, depending on what you're doing online, if you're selling something to these people who love you, keep doing what you're doing. And it doesn't really matter what that other,
Are you talking about being like authentic?
I am talking about being authentic.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. Because there's different,
some people purposely rile people up though. Yeah. One of my clients was telling me she is taking this course and they literally stage these videos like of, what was this one scenario? Basically like this dad had cancer and was like gonna die or something. And it was some handwritten note and it came out like it was something special and like a, like, did that really just happen type of thing? But it was all fucking set up. And like they state like nobody has cancer, but it was all like a thing in order to get Like, you
little
see those
story.
Facebook videos that are like random and it's like, ooh, you never believe what came out of this guy's skin. And they're like trying to pull out like a worm out of this guy's knee or something. And it's like a 45-minute video. And they're like trying to get it. And then it like goes back, but it's all like fake.
Yeah,
you know,
no, I've seen stuff like
but
that. I'm
it's
like,
the
is it
same
gonna
concept
happen?
of that.
Is
you
it
know?
gonna happen?
So you just described every mainstream media. You just described a huge propaganda loop.
Talk to me, brother.
It's all propaganda. Like that is like what do you call it? That's unconventional, like irregular warfare 101.
Yeah, it is propaganda.
Propaganda,
Isn't it?
sabotage, subterfuge.
Yep.
All the tages, sabotage, prototage, chatterlage.
Yep.
Yeah. But that's really what you just described. Is the mainstream narrative is like it's all fucking fake, dude.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that back in the day they called it yellow journalism.
Yeah. Or it's either they're playing off of an event that was like highly orchestrated. Like, you know, not to bring well I guess we'll start dividing our audience a little bit here, but Maui, right? And like 9/11, like this is the algorithm's just grabbing these or tossing them, but like Maui, 9/11, the Las Vegas shooting, like all this stuff, like it's all just at the basic level, but then like at the smallest level, then you got like clickbaiting thumbnails. Mm-hmm. It's like, you know, Grand Theft Auto, and it just shows a cartoon chick in a bikini.
Yeah.
And then it's like, you know, not the video that you want to click on.
Yep.
It's like it. And Mr. Beast talks about that, like when you're making content, and within the first 3 seconds of your video, it's like your thumbnail should tell your audience what they want to watch. Like it should show them, it should be real. So they click on it, like Mr. Beast.
They don't feel like they got lied to.
Yeah, he's
They'll
shooting
immediately
a car.
be like, oh.
Yeah, with a bazooka or whatever, and then he clicks on the video and he's like, "I'm gonna shoot a car with a bazooka."
Yeah, just directly.
The image tells you, the title tells you, and then within the first 3 to 5 seconds, he tells you exactly what the video is gonna be. And he has this like whole algorithm, or like he's this whole like step-by-step process he's laid out for free on every podcast out there. But it's like he just tells you. So that's like exactly what the propaganda machine does too.
Oh yeah, he's that style of video.
Yeah,
totally, totally.
Interesting topic, Mitch. I'm glad you brought that up.
And some people just be trolling, dog.
They're trolling.
Patrick, he was trolling at that NFL game we were at. We were sitting with a bunch of Broncos fans, and he likes the Rams. But
He's stirring a bunch of shit.
dude, he'd be like, "Let's go defense!" And then Russell Wilson was like right there. He's like, "You suck, Russell Wilson!" And like, just like this crazy. I never even heard him sound like that before.
Patrick.
But
Wait,
dude,
is Patrick that
yeah,
big ass?
and dude, just the vibes we were getting, man. Like,
it's eerie.
oh, dude,
It's
people
weird.
were like, you know,
Makes you uncomfortable.
and then
dude.
finally, I was like, just being
Patrick,
the peacemaker
shut the
I
fuck
am.
up.
I'm like, look, he's actually a Rams fan. He's just trying to have fun. And so then they started high fiving us and shit, and
nice.
it was
There you
pretty
go.
funny.
I would
You're
have
so good, bro.
taken a different approach. I'd be like, he's like, you know, on the spectrum a little.
Yeah,
Like, I'm sorry.
that's what I should have did.
I know he's bigger than
he
me,
is.
but he's my little brother.
Yeah.
We're just he likes football.
We call him Bobo.
Yeah. You hold your phone up. You're like, hey, Patrick, look, Pokemon, remember? He's like, oh, yeah.
That's crazy, dude. That show, Dating on the Spectrum, is like a big YouTube, or not YouTube, Netflix show. But that's like one of my dad's favorite shows. It's Dating on the Spectrum, and it's literally like it's like a dating show, but just with people who are on the spectrum. Yeah.
Yeah. So
But
like
it's like the-
autistic,
yeah,
Down syndrome, everybody. Yeah. Who's
But
the
like, it's
comedian
crazy that
references
why is that so entertaining for people, you know?
that? Yeah. I mean, I can think of a lot of reasons.
Well,
why.
obviously, when you watch it, I mean, you'll speak for itself, but it's like the fact that people continue to click on and watch that as their entertainment is just
I think it was
fucking
Shane
wild.
Gillis, the comedian Shane Gillis was talking about that, I think. But he's talking about on that show, they have a kid who is so excited to like go see these ladies in Thailand. And then they're like, he thinks they're ladies, but they're lady boys.
Oh, okay.
And so the whole episode, and then when he finds out at the end that everyone was telling him like, no, they're lady boys, they're boys, they're just pretending, and he was like, no. And then he like finally finds out at the end, and he's just like crushed.
Oh,
It's so funny.
Poor
Shane
fella.
Gillis does a better job of explaining that, but that's funny you brought that up, dude.
Yeah, I just watched his Netflix special. It was super funny. He's talking about going to Washington, D.C., and it seemed like the way that they were treating him was like he was on the spectrum. So he just kind of played into it a little bit.
Yeah, he like sneaks into stadiums and like acts like he's on the spectrum. He's got some funny stories. Oh man, I feel pretty relaxed today, guys. Like, I don't know what it is. I feel like reflective more than anything. Like, I'm not super talkative. We had a long week, a lot of progress, but like, I don't know if you guys feel the same. You came in with some energy today, though. You got some energy going on, Mitch?
I was actually, that's interesting. You picked that up because I was thinking today, I was like fighting to get a nap in. I'm like getting all these like coaching calls finished, and I'm like, then I go outside. This is how shitty it is. I don't know if it's ADD or ADHD or whatever I have, but I go outside and oh fuck, there's spider webs, dude. And I find this big ass ant hole, and I'm like, don't have any bug spray, dude. I got to go to fucking Ace. Go to Ace, come home, start spraying, and then I'm like, ooh, there's fucking weeds. I got to spray the weeds. Go out, start spraying the weeds. And then my roommate texts me, her car's at the shop. She's like, can you give me a ride to the shop? Yep. Run to the shop. Like, and then immediately scarf down a meal and come straight here. But I was like trying in that gap so hard to just take a nap, but it's all good.
Yeah.
Dude. Tomorrow's Saturday. I'm just chilling.
That's awesome.
But I'm vibing. Not crazy energy, but
yeah, it's funny how it just ebbs and flows. Everybody experiences that, but when you have to do like content, like Jared today, you were just on content day. Friday's your content day.
Yeah,
for your
content on Fridays
for the place where you work, and then here
professional and personal content, bud. Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
So yeah, and it was interesting because I've been super busy because I've been basically playing dual roles right now, and then also traveling a bunch. So what I was filming on today, I had the script for it, but I didn't have the psychological breakdown that we normally do. So as I'm driving, and I don't recommend this, kids, but chat GPT and the psychological breakdowns of each section of that script, and then creating a script while I'm driving of the psychological breakdown of everything, and then also having to revise it because some of the stuff might not be as relevant, or it might be something that I wanted to input. And basically the last 2.5 hours, 3 hours of the trip, I'm creating a script while I'm driving, taking phone calls and shit, and literally get to the office to film, get in there, and I had to do like another 30 seconds of like putting some stuff in,
So you procrastinated? Is that what you're telling me?
I procrastinated, but it's it's more of like been super busy and having more, and especially like I haven't had my assistant because we had to let my assistant go, and she took a 3-week vacation leading up to us letting her go. But yeah, so best of luck. So I've been without my assistant for over a month, and then taking on basically a whole nother role on top of my regular responsibilities, all the while being on the road. I'm just basically just treading water.
Yep.
Getting shit done.
I feel you.
Can't be as intentional about this stuff, but that's a thing that maybe it's bad because as a younger man, I did a lot of procrastination, but still was able to get shit done. Mm-hmm. So I'm able to lean into some of those things of where, hey, I know how to get shit done last minute. Mm-hmm. So,
dude, I'm the same though. I mean, Jeff is so fucking bad too, but we'll just be driving. Like I drove home from Salt Lake, dude, and the whole time, I don't even know if I looked at the road. I'm like just on phone calls, taking note, whatever. I'm like scheduling people.
That drive sure
just
goes
catching
fast, though,
up.
huh?
Oh man, dude, I was like, I'm home.
You're like, I'm already halfway.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's
So then I get in there
honestly.
and I film, do about an hour of filming, and my stomach, like I'm so hungry, my stomach's like, grrr, like, and so we'll probably have to edit that out. And then, getting over here and starting the podcast. Luckily, my boy Blake had some steak and some cheese for me.
Nice.
straight up, dog.
Straight up, dog.
That's me. Steak, cheese,
Yeah,
cigars,
straight cheese and
smooth jazz, whiskey, steak, cheese, cigars. Repeat, rinse, lather, repeat.
hell yeah.
Steak in his veins.
Rinse, lather,
Ribeye.
repeat. Dude,
That's
steak in my
almost
veins.
Yeah, I eat steak almost every day.
Can we hit me with my test, dude?
I was just gonna say,
I'm eager, dude.
Segue.
Like we've been
Okay.
priming me for 2 weeks now.
Yeah,
I'm
I
just
feel like
what is this?
We
What
haven't
is this
caught
thing?
up. We did some really crucial group catch up.
Crucial.
Heinz catch up. We caught up with Jared. We know he's using AI as an assistant now.
Yep.
Yeah, while he drives, don't do that. But what we need to do is Mitchell Rose needs what's called a human design. It's basically your design of a human. But the human design, though, for real, we've talked about it on here before. It like changed my life a couple months ago. Mallory knows what I'm talking about. It's helped our marriage. It's helped us find like kind of like our authentic purpose. Like not so much like, oh, I'm the chosen one or shit like that. But it's like, what are your strengths within a group of people, like within a society? Like if this was a team right now, we would all kind of gravitate towards different taskings and things. And sometimes people try to force something they're not, and they wonder why they're miserable, why they hate their job, why they don't want to get up. And they're not really living in alignment with like who they are. And so I had Mitch on our Content Factory podcast this week, and we were talking about how the stuff that Mitch is doing in his business is like comes natural because it's like in line with you. Right. So I'm kind of really interested to see what your human design is. Okay. So you are a manifesting generator, according to this.
Ooh.
That's what Mallory is. So there's 5 archetypes again. You got manifester, you got a generator, then you have a hybrid of both, manifesting generator, and then you have a reflector and I think a projector. That's what you are.
I project my shit on you, dog.
So manifesting generators, dude, like a generator is somebody who's like here's how I put it. A manifester is building the roads. And a generator is trucking back and forth on the roads. Like the builders of society that are like just moving like product, like just doing it, doing the work. And the manifester is like creating stuff. And then manifesting generator, you have both of those abilities. You can kind of move in and out of creative and then do the generative work that sustains and keeps your idea going and going, like Energizer Bunny. So I'm actually super jealous of manifesting generators because they have that, like, and the reason I say that is because I'm a manifester and I feel like I can start shit up, but I can't finish it. Not in a fight though. It's different.
So you know,
I'll finish.
How else will you finish?
he finishes in other places
I'll finish
for sure.
on you. I'll finish. I mean, I'll finish
You so hard.
on
you
Mortal
didn't even wanna
Kombat.
know.
Finish him. Yeah.
That's
It's like-
interesting.
You know, you knock him out and then you just like walk away, or like just middle of the fight.
You just slice people in
I
half,
can't
dog.
finish this.
Shove their heads up their ass and walk away.
Rip their spine out. No, but
Fatalities.
so like what I'll do is, and Ryan was a manifester from the last episode we were on. Remember, our first guest
Yep.
was Ryan Seacrest. So we can kind of chat on it more. I think what we should do is do another episode about it, but like more in depth. Maybe we can get Alti Dapper on here. Alti's the one who introduced it to us. She does a lot of holistic healing and stuff. I used to not believe in that stuff, dude. I was like never. People are like, I'm a Pisces and I'm a Libra. And
Is this kind of the same? I see all these symbols and shit on here.
It's a little bit of everything. It's like numerology.
Yeah. Personality, design.
Yeah, chakras, all of your chi and the levels of chi
Interesting.
and stuff like that. I'm totally slaughtering this, but I'm not well
You're
versed.
paraphrasing, dog. It's all good.
Paraphrasing.
Well, dude, that's cool. I'm a
Spitballing, dude.
manifester generator.
Yeah,
that
it's
sounds
like,
good.
You know, are you an earthbender, waterbender?
Well,
Are you a
yeah,
Hufflepuff?
bender.
Air, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, are you like a
Airbender.
Ravenclaw? We don't know. You know, but personality tests are interesting. It's part of these things. I think they're necessary for people to find out like who you truly are. Right. The whole point of this podcast, authentic identity. Who the fuck is Blake? Who the fuck is Mitch? Who the fuck is Jared? Who the fuck is that guy over there? Who is he? Who am I? Right. We all have these interesting perspectives. Yeah.
It's an
Couldn't be.
inside joke at work.
Oh,
Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. It doesn't click here, dude. Okay.
Sorry, bro.
You're not at work, Jared.
But what's really cool about, because we're doing a habit finder thing through work right now. So it's like based off of mathematics and some different things, to where what it is you answer a bunch of like hypothetical questions and what you would do. And then it breaks down like character traits and the way you go about certain, work or your personal life, your joy, your ability to have a vision, your ability to understand what it takes to implement your vision, all these things. We did the was it personal design?
The human design.
Human design.
Yep.
We've done the human design. There's also this, I think I mentioned it on a previous podcast, but there's this birthday book that I used to have. And you would just look at the day that you were born and it breaks down all this shit. And it was like crazy all the way down to health things that I've dealt with, from my ankles to things that I've dealt with, what I'd been dealing with over the last few years. Like, breaks all that down. And it was just crazy. And I've even had my genes tested and it broke down a bunch of different things. Wow. And a lot of it really is just confirmation on things that you already kind of know about yourself. But then you get the confirmation and it just helps you understand more about, like,
you know it already, but it's just the clarification.
Exactly. Yeah. It's the clarification.
Yeah, it's validating. That resonates with me. Like, that actually, the more you think about it, and it kind of, a lot of it's really snake oil salesman type stuff. But, I think the more in tune that you get with your body, in fact, maybe we can talk about that today, because we've kind of been aimlessly talking today, having a good time.
Yeah. Let's fucking get to it.
I've had to aim this entire time.
Yeah. Have you? Okay. I've just been spraying and praying, man. I haven't aimed at all. So, but yeah, the more in tune you are with, like, your physical body, right? I feel like the culture we're in is meant to dumb us down, right? So we can stay on this, like, peasantry level, right? I don't think it's as sinister as people think. I just think it's like the laws of manipulation. Like, people who can manipulate will. People who have resources can exploit other people without the resources. It's like, it's happened all throughout human history.
Just nature, dude.
It's just nature. So I don't think we need to get, it's not sinister like, oh, Biden, Trump, or blah. Like, that's all part of it to a degree, but like at a grander scale, I honestly think, like, we don't control what we eat, like, really, it's all grown elsewhere. It's not
for most.
Yeah.
Unless you got the fucking farm back in Texas, you got the fucking cattle out there, and
homestead,
orchard over there, and fucking, vegetables.
Those my chickens,
My chickens.
Well, what's interesting about what you're saying is, especially like getting my DNA analysis and it breaking down, like, how I basically deal with different types of foods and nutrients and things like this. And then there's, like, there's this book I read one time. It's called, like, Ancestral Diet, something like that, to where you would basically find out, like, what your genealogy is and then base your eating practices off of essentially, like, where you derive from.
Yeah, like from a genetic
lineage. Exactly. Yeah. Because certain people process fat better than other people. Mm-hmm. They would be a good candidate to be, like, more of a keto type person, or like high protein carnivore sort of diet. But then you also get people, maybe they're from maybe the Middle East or even Asia, to where they actually process carbohydrates better. Say, like, a lot of Asian people actually have, like, a larger salivary gland, so they can break down rice better. So there's all these
wow,
that's interesting.
Yeah, and it's called polymorphisms. So we're all the same creature, right? And then based off your environment, you start to have epigenetic, like a presentation of those genes based off of your environment. And then enough people within an environment have those epigenetic, like, showings or whatever, like manifestations. And then enough people, a certain percentage, it turns into a gene polymorphism. And that's why you have certain people, even the melanin in your skin, those are just polymorphisms, because, again, we're all the same creature. So what I'm getting at is, depending on where those polymorphisms reside with your lineage, then you can kind of lean into that in terms of, like, your nutrition and the way you go about eating food. Mm-hmm. So for me, for example, it's like, Western, Northern European. And so, like, I don't process carbs that well. It's more like meat and fat and stuff that actually I process really well.
Interesting.
And there's also this thing that said that my, because there was a lot of alcohol drinking within those, especially back in the Middle Ages, when unsanitary conditions and alcohol was actually, like, what you could drink.
Medieval shit.
Yeah, medieval shit. And there was this one thing.
Alcohol was, like, the safest thing to drink back then.
And there's this one thing that says my blood pressure is actually better with, like, minimal regular alcohol intake.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's from your great grandpappy, who, was a pikeman for the Lord.
Yep.
Jonathan
And
Bedolomir.
and I think about stuff like that, and I think about like where, the things that kind of drive me and the things that I kind of naturally like have an inclination towards, because this version of us, it's such a snapshot in the whole history of what we are. I mean, 99% of our history is like hunter gatherer sort of stuff, and waging like war with like between tribes and protecting like your family and your resources and all these things. And there's just a lot of, as I've gotten older and I've looked back at just the way I feel about stuff and the way I lean towards stuff, like I just very much feel it like within me, especially like I travel a lot and I've been traveling for years, even through like severe disease and stuff. And I'm just like, there's a part of me that's just drawn towards like being on the move, getting shit done, like conquering stuff, like whatever.
Crusading.
Yeah, crusading. Like and you go back thousands of years of like my lineage doing those things, and here I am, a modern man, but all my makeup over all these thousands of years has been built to do stuff like that. Or like
That factors into it for sure.
yeah, or I loved like, I call it going to the war room, because what I'll do is like, because we have tons of logistics, all these travel trips. I mean, we have like 15 travel trips per month or something like that. And that's my favorite shit, is to sit down in the war room and basically look at the map and where we're going to go, when we're going to go there, who we're going to have go there, get all these moving pieces, all marching in the same direction. And like, that's just my jam, dude.
Logistics.
Like, logistics and fucking conquest and all these things, traveling and all these things that, like I said, I feel like there's just a lineage of that within me. And here I am, modern man, like just feeling super motivated and like inspired to do stuff like that.
Have you had points where like, obviously you weren't so busy, and like, how did that affect you mentally and like your feeling? Like you seem like when you put action items or goals in front of you, like you're way more fulfilled, it seems like, or happy about the process of doing it.
Yeah, it's like
whereas
in line.
like
He's like in line with it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas like, in the slower times, did you ever feel just like lower when you're not?
Not so much lower, but
I kind of feel like that sometimes.
like,
if I don't have shit going on, I'm like,
yeah, sort of like a bad energy. Like, man, I'm just not doing what, like, I need to get out in the world and like move and groove and interact and get shit done. And say when my kids were younger and I wasn't traveling for work or anything, and maybe I'd be at whatever the day was, like just go out, do my job, come home, be with the kids. And I'm just like, fuck, I got to get out and do something. Like something's got to happen.
That's how I function too, dude. Like I'm always like,
You're always on the go.
yeah,
You're filming at some location. It's like you feel like a level of dis-ease. You're like, if I don't have like momentum in your body,
God,
your life,
momentum, dude, is the word.
like,
I feel like that sums it up. Like if I don't feel like I have momentum going, it's so hard. Dude.
You get stagnant.
Like, you get so stagnant, and it's, again, just going back to what you focus on. If you're so high and focused and productive, and like that momentum is all built, like it's almost just like no stopping you kind of. But as soon as you stop it, and you kind of, your mind will start playing those tricks on you, and then you might start rolling the other way,
Dude, that's interesting.
I feel like that a lot of times, but like I've had times where I think it was in July, I had like a couple slow weeks of business, and I was like, gosh, what's going on? And I started playing all these questions in my heads and creating all these fake false narratives. And I'm like, why am I thinking that way? And picked up that Law of Attraction book again, and was like, God, dude, it's just my focus. Look what I'm focusing on right now. Yeah. The lack that I have. Right.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm getting. I'm getting a lack of that, where I was like, nope, let me feel what it felt like when I was doing this, doing that, doing this, doing that, and how that made me feel. And I remember on that call, dude, or on that drive to Moab, it was like a 5-hour drive, listened to some of that book, and then immediately 5 calls that day, booked people to go shoot for me. And I was like, just another good reminder,
Dude, you guys just...
You're him, dog.
That's
but it's
really
the focus, dude. Everything you fucking do in your life is focus.
Because like when you combine what you just talked about some generational like habits or mindset, like, the situations that every generation was in have kind of shaped how you're handling the modern world, right? And to a degree, and it's not. It's kind of speculation. We're like, it's cool to talk about. Same thing with Mitch. You guys are always about like, you want to move, you want to be on momentum. Like traveling is, you feel like in line with that, or like it feels like progress. Whereas for me, I love creating a space, like almost like a settling an area. And I know that I have in recent generations a lot of like homesteaders and settlers who like migrated, but then they just plopped down. And so they like did one big thing and it just plopped down, and the generations have just kind of stayed there and like created successful areas and things, but like spaces for themselves. And like, if you talk to Mallory, like every single inch of our house, like I just create these spaces.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, this is where I need to be. Like you guys have seen my desk in that room. I like everything in my spaces to be in order. And like, even if I'm backpacking, I get like uneasy. I get in a sense of dis-ease if I'm moving so much that I can't like be in orderly like fashion. Like my backpack's in disarray. I could hike 20 miles and with a rock in my shoe, I wouldn't give a shit. But if I knew that I packed something
wrong.
heavier on like where it's not supposed to be, out of like urgency, because in the Marine Corps it's like, get the fuck up, go, and you're just packing your shit and you're going. And my OCD is like, it's not optimal, right? That my space that I'm supposed to be in charge of is like the stewardship I have over these items or this land or this gear or these animals or like whatever. It's like, it's not like optimal, and it like drives me nuts, dude.
Yeah.
I feel like out of alignment, and so I get like recharged from coming home from a trip and like nurturing my space that I'm in.
That's
and, like, customizing things. Yeah.
I went to a therapy session, and it came to my attention that I kind of have that same thing. And she told me, you might have ADD or ADHD or something, because like if I look at my space and it's all fucking cluttery or shit's just out of whack and out of place where it's not supposed to be, it drives me nuts, and I can't stop until it's fucking right back in place.
Yeah. Same with Mal.
Yeah.
Mal the same way. And there's like studies too. There's clips going around recently, but you know the movie Limitless with Bradley Cooper, and he like takes that drug that like makes him use a larger portion of his brain,
More percentage. It's like
he becomes.
it shows like a graph of like more percentage activated, and then he's like new level and handling all sorts of shit.
Yeah, but like the first thing he does is clean up his space. Like, you know, Jordan Peterson's whole thing
Make
is
your
like,
bed.
Yeah, clean up your room. Clean your room for the first time, or make your bed. Like, because it is like the space that you're in. I think we're beings of frequency, because we are. We're like, you know, 70% liquid. We're water. We're saltwater beings. And like, you know, ripple effect, right? You drop a stone in a pond, it affects the whole surface of the pond, and that ripple goes even underwater. Energy is, you know, animals can like sense.
It's not,
like an
you might not
alligator,
see it to your eyeball.
Yeah,
but it's
right.
there. Yeah.
And so I think in a space, if you're in a place, it doesn't mean you can't like go into an area and be effective, right? But if you're constantly living in this room or in this house, sometimes you're like, man, I just got some bad energy in this room. I gotta like
Open a window,
rearrange
or
the
window,
furniture
turn
and
the
shit.
fan on.
Feng shui is like a huge Japanese and Eastern kind of culture thing, right? And like clearing spaces, you'll see people like
Saging.
burning incense and saging stuff. And so it's like, I don't know what level that has credence, but I think the underlying principle is like there's a frequency into the spaces that you create. Like they enable that or they kind of suppress it, I think. So when your house is in disarray, like you're just like triggered on an ADD level. That's just like a modern term for like being out of alignment, I think. It's just like,
Gotta get your
Agreed.
house in
Like
order.
it's going back to like what I want in a space. And if that frequency of the space is off, I need to do something to match it with my frequency, because that's what I want. You know what I mean? So
like Mal, I love this about Mal. She's hyper aware of the space and the cleanliness of the space. And I don't like the term like ADD and stuff for that. I think it's actually like a superpower. It's just something you need to control.
Yeah.
Like
the way she said that, it doesn't mean it's negative.
Right.
A lot of people immediately perceive it as, you know, oh, he's got a problem.
I think it's because we have too many options.
Yeah.
It's not that we bounce around. It's because we just have too many things that are overloading our senses. And then back to diet, like we were talking about, we're all eating garbage, shit, food products. We're not eating food. We're eating a food product.
Food-like products,
Yeah.
generally regarded as safe.
Right.
That's what the FDA calls its grass.
Yeah. So to quote a friend of ours, Jeff Fieldstead on the Solid Podcast, he looked at me, changed my life with him. This one question, he was like, are you eating to live or do you live just to eat? And it like changed my whole outlook on diet. And that's what I've been on carnivore, and like I've worked some more carbs into my diet recently, but and then I've been like, yeah, you know, I want to live life too, so I'm gonna have a motherfucking ice cream when I want one. But to go in there, I feel like I understand my body more. So like this little health journey I've been on the last year, it's really helped me unpack more authenticity of my identity, right? To tie it back into the podcast, it's like I can hear my body. Like if I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go eat this item, I'm gonna go eat this piece of shit food, and I'm like, my brain and the dopamine center in my mouth and the taste, I'm like, oh, that's gonna be so delicious, because that's what dictates everybody. Like, oh, I just want to eat something delicious. I want sugar, so I get dopamine. I want the flavors, the cheese. It's all just dopamine.
Yeah. And that's interesting.
Yeah.
Like, where do you draw the line of like,
Yeah.
okay, let me listen to what my body wants right now. But if it's like,
What's
again,
your stomach? If you just isolated your stomach,
yeah,
like you're like, I'm gonna go eat a Chipotle burrito, and you're like, that sounds amazing.
not what I'm craving, but like what it needs. You
Yeah.
know, that's so hard though to.
If your stomach could just say, like, overpower your brain, and your stomach's like, fuck that, no. Like, I don't want to digest and do the work for that Chipotle burrito. Like, if your stomach had a say in it,
Dude, and that's the thing. Like
would
going
change.
back to all diets and like, I was talking to Sam about this last night. Like, I tried this diet one time, and it was, again, what was the purpose of doing the diet? It was to see if it would increase, and I didn't measure anything enough, but like, I tried this diet where I basically tried to fast for the first half of the morning until about like 2 or 3 o'clock, and then just eat this massive meal.
Intermittent
and that
fasting.
was it. But like the whole concept, why I tried it was when insulin kicks on when you need food, HGH shuts down, and vice versa. As soon as you're done processing food, insulin shuts off, HGH turns on, and then that was supposed to, like, you know, promote growth and
do you know
all
what
that
your
kind of stuff.
to bring it back to the human design? Do you know what your digestion is?
What
Open.
does that mean?
That means it's like whenever you feel like it.
You hungry, dog?
Yeah. So like these,
I try that. I really do. I just like listen to my body. I'm like, if I want food, or if whatever I want, really, I
it's
try
like
to.
6 a.m, and if your body tells you, you eat it. For me though, the intermittent fasting thing, like I don't eat a meal until like 2 o'clock now. Like the first thing I've ate today. Well, that's not true, because I got a little burrito this morning because we went to a coffee shop. So, but normally on a normal day, like Mal can vouch for this. Like me and Mal, she's kind of on my schedule, but she bounces around a lot. So she'll be like, oh, I don't want to eat till 2. And then she's fine. But as long as she gets her coffee, you know, that's her thing.
Mm-hmm.
But then some mornings she's like, I'm so hungry right away. And so, you know, getting that food is important for her. But she has a different diet based off that human design. And like, I think everybody applies a diet like it's just this blanket thing. Oh, you should do keto. You should do this. You should do the Atkins diet. And like,
Yeah, and for what?
yeah.
For what?
When anything
Some
can be a
people-
diet, it's like,
Yeah.
I'm on the junk food diet. I'm on eat whatever the fuck I want diet.
Dude, when I was when I was
seafood
vegetarian,
yeah, I see food, I eat that shit.
vegetarian, all I ate, dude, when I was living in the van, I swear to God, it was fucking goldfish, Coors Banquet, and Cheez-Its and pretzels and like cheese quesadillas. That was like
Banquets.
Coors Banquets, dude. That was like, I swear to God, like my whole diet.
That was
I'd
more
go to
dense than the
Durango's.
goldfish and
Yeah.
the Cheez-Its.
Rice, black beans, fucking cheese, tortilla,
Yeah.
whatever it was. Like, but it was so. That was when I was bad vegetarian. But when I was like trying to do the bodybuilding thing, it was just pure egg whites, a wheat tortilla, avocado, and some cheese. That's it. And I would do like the same rinse and repeat. But I've tried and done so many diets. Like,
At age
Since-
24, you've done a lot of dieting.
oh
Like,
yeah,
you've tried
dude.
it all.
I mean, since 8th
young.
grade, dude, 7th grade, I was
Sounds like you have
white
almost have
rice,
an
ground
eating
turkey,
disorder.
broccoli,
Just
bro.
keep-
I swear to God, I ate that for years. What'd you say?
it sounds almost like you have an eating disorder. All these diets. Just kidding.
Nah, like, but really, like since 8th grade, I was so determined to. But my diet, dude, has fluctuated so much. Like I went from
Because it's open.
It's open. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I went from doing the, again, ground turkey, white rice, like pure, like tried to be as pure as I can get as far as like no bullshit. And so that was a diet for the longest time. And then when I was playing football in high school, dude, I got up to like my highest weight it was in sophomore year. I was like 198. I
Little
peaked.
chonker, huh?
I peaked, yeah. But I would wake up, dude. Check this diet out, dude. Wake up. My mom and my dad, dude, mad respect because they would cook me every single meal. I didn't do a thing. Wake up, I'd have 5 eggs, 4 pieces of toast, 3 bacon, 3 sausage, bowl of oatmeal, and that was breakfast. And then it was right into first period, banana. Second period, protein bar. That was like a high calorie, high protein. Yeah. Then third period, peanut butter and jelly. Skip on fourth, go to lunch, eat ground turkey, white rice, broccoli. Get into sixth period, and it was another banana. Seventh period was like another protein bar, and then before I went and lifted, it was another PB&J. And then I lifted, went home, ate another meal. Oh, actually, no, I went straight to the gym after. So I was doing 2-a-days, and then I'd come home, have a protein shake, and then a giant dinner, and then that was it. But I think it was like 6,500 to 7,000 calories a day.
Did it feel like a chore to eat that much?
Oh yeah, dude. And it was like force feeding the whole time. And I was like, I don't know why I was so obsessed with just getting large, and just packing on as much weight, like trying to be a linebacker.
That's what it is for like a lot of professional athletes, especially like NFL offensive linemen. When they retire, they'll drop like 60, 80 pounds.
Yeah,
because they have to eat so much just to maintain weight. That
and I did tear my ACL, and I could like it's interesting to think about that because like normally I would sit around like the 175 mark, and then I just went way deep into that and got up to the 190, 198 was my peak. And then I remember it was like first or second game of the season, dude. I'm like crushing it at linebacker. I'm like, coach, throw me in at running back. That was like my secondary position. And I thought I saw like a little cut back lane, and I went to step, and no one even hit me. I just stepped to cut back and just pop. Like you just heard like a snap. Like you plant, twist, and put pressure there, and that ACL just goes.
Was it on grass or turf?
It's turf.
Oh, I think turf.
There's a lot.
Either way, though,
there's a lot of blowback with the NFL players right now because dudes keep getting hurt on turf. Like Aaron Rodgers.
I still don't know
Achilles and shit.
I don't know. Turf, it's a real thing. Obviously, grass does have more give, but I just think that position that I moved, I think regardless, even if it was a little muddy grass, it still would have stuck my foot there and popped it. It was just the push, pressure, turn.
That's what I did.
But again, going like the weight, going from a normal weight to like adding all that weight all of a sudden, like my body, my joints, my ligaments, they're not used to that weight. Yeah. To where if I put pressure on it, that's like abnormal. Yeah. It might be.
Well, as a linebacker, you're just like kind of these straight lines, get in the mix a little bit.
Yep.
And then, but with running back, it's like, okay, you go this way, change direction super quick.
Oh,
and
dude, their legs are flying all over the fucking place.
Offense is way different than defense. I always like to play defense because I was just
hitting your
smacking
knees
people.
Too. Yeah, exactly. You're
straight line, I'm
the
smack
hit.
you.
Yep.
That's cool.
Just find the right angle. That's all you need.
There's a lot of ways you can train like an agility. Like there's like, squats, and like they'll work your joints and stuff in one direction or like one motion, right? And then if you're doing that level of agility, it's going to like torque your joints. So like, I think you added weight, your ligaments and joints were under more stress, and then you add that level of torque that you hadn't trained or whatever. Because like at the high school level,
and stability too. Like if I was doing Bosu ball, one-legged like squats, or like anything that's going to give myself a little bit of shake, the ankle, the knee, like all that stuff is so important, and it's so undertrained, and that was a huge part of probably why I tore my ACL, but total blessing in disguise. Cause now I'm here in Utah.
Yeah. But dude, your little, your account of your diet and your schedule reminded me of Winston Churchill's. Have you ever looked into Winston Churchill's schedule?
No.
So this was during World War II. He's, one of the leaders of the Allies, right? Probably the most stressful time, in world leader history at the time with what was going on with World War II. So Winston Churchill leading the British nation, and this is his schedule, and like there's things, the inner Marine of me like aspires to be this, but the healthy side of Blake's like, don't do that, you'll die. But 7:30 a.m. wake up, remain in bed, eat breakfast, read newspapers, work, glass of whiskey and soda. 7:30 in the morning. 11, but so that's now it's 11 a.m. out of bed, stroll around the garden, supervising the estate, whiskey and soda at 11. 1 o'clock.
Winston.
Multi-course lunch, imperial pint of champagne, an entire pint. 3:30, work from study, glass of cognac. 5 o'clock, hour and a half nap, a siesta, whatever. A habit acquiring during this time in Cuba. Okay. Wake up. This is a different thing I read, but he wakes up, takes a bath, dresses for dinner, lengthy dinner with guests, another pint of champagne, work in the study, more cognac, all the while probably having 10 to 12 cigars throughout the whole day.
Oh my gosh.
And like,
Living
there's
his
other
best
accounts,
life, dude.
other accounts of him saying he'd take cocaine like before certain meetings and stuff like throughout
He
the
probably
week.
was wondering what the poor people were doing when you
Oh,
said. I would say that sounds pretty fucking
What are the poor
lavish.
people doing right
He wakes up, takes a shit, then gets out of bed. No, I'm just kidding.
yeah, I was gonna say he doesn't even get out of bed. Yeah, dude. So
Maids change the sheets.
And I found like with myself, the cleaner you eat, and you do have to try some different things to kind of figure out what it is that like you feel good about like eating and how your body responds. But the signal comes in a lot clearer when you're not filling it full of a bunch of bullshit. Yeah. And then I've messed around with intermittent fasting and some different modalities, and I found that eating a decent breakfast, not a huge breakfast, but maybe some eggs and avocado and little toast or
so protein,
eggs
and avocado. That's
fat,
great protein.
fat and protein. Fat and protein, like that. Those are my jams.
There's studies on that too. If you have, I think it's like 8 to 10 grams of protein, like within like an hour of waking up or whatever metric, but when you have it in the morning, it's like, I don't know the terms, but like, your glucose levels or whatever. I don't know. But Andrew Huberman was talking about that.
Yeah. And then I can basically go like all day without eating after that because I'm just super busy with work and doing everything. But as long as I get a decent high fat, high protein, not a huge breakfast in, then I'm good till like 8 to 10 o'clock at night. And then that's usually when I get off. And then I'll have like a steak and some potatoes. And my wife makes me like this little salad. It's just like cucumbers and like avocado and tomatoes and a little bit of cilantro, some olive oil, and a bunch of lime, like fresh squeezed like lemon into it. Bro, that should be bussin'. Yeah, but I'll eat like a moderate breakfast, a huge dinner, and I'm good to go. Maybe some peanut butter crackers and too. I like peanut butter crackers.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think it's really important if you feel lost in life, right? If you feel lost, you're like, we've all been there. Like, who am I? What am I going to do with my life? These are all common things for people. So hopefully the scope of this podcast is to help people do that, help you. Who are you really? And I think a big part of that is understanding what you're eating and change that for the better and optimize it for yourself. And it's different for everybody. So don't just go take advice from us or whatever. Go experiment. Like you've done tons of diets already. I've tried a lot. And like I finally found what works for me with this carnivore diet. Like it's in line with this human design. Your digestion is like kind of open. Mine is a little bit more rigid, and I like hot foods. And so when I have one hot meal a day, like midday, like I feel amazing. And I think Jeff Fieldstead, who got me on this, I think he's very similar. He eats because I've kind of mimicked what he does, and I've altered some things, but it's amazing. So just how good you can feel if you eat right. And if you get rid of the programming that they want to give you, they're trying to poison us. That's the thing. They're trying to keep us dumb.
Dull the signal.
Yeah. They're trying to keep us docile. They're trying to keep us controllable. And when I say they, I mean anybody who wants to retain power or make a lot of money to retain power and all that stuff. So, take it as specific as you want to be, slap whatever labels you want on there. But That's been like throughout history. Like the noblemen have always eaten better than the peasants, right? Even though the peasants are doing all the work. So if people learn things, right? If once the printing press came out and like the Bible was in common tongue, right? In German, right? And it was actually in Frankfurt, Germany, excuse me. But the printing press, Gutenberg printing press, right? That like game changer, because now all of a sudden people could decipher religion for themselves.
It was Martin Luther.
Martin Luther, yeah. Mm-hmm. And I think they executed him eventually, but
Did they?
Yeah.
I know he was well protected.
yeah, or maybe he didn't,
insulated
but
from
he
the-
started the Protestant faith basically,
Yeah.
which broke off into everything.
My grandparents were heavy Lutherans. So when I was a kid, we'd go to Lutheran church and stuff. And he was one of the first dudes posting translated scripture.
I was like,
Yeah.
trans stuff.
Trans, yeah.
Yeah, that was the first social media post. Was Martin Luther nailing the common tongue to the, or stuff that people could read to the church walls.
And look,
the doors.
look where we're at now, dog.
Yeah, the first social media post. What do you say, boys? Should we end the podcast?
Yeah,
Say. You don't say. But anyway, I think that's a wrap, y'all.
It's a wrap.
Wrap it
Let's
up.
wrap it and tap it.